Hello. Hello, CWF Universe. Yes, it's back again for another episode of Backstage Pass. Sorry, I've been a little not around for the past few weeks. It was quite a busy time for myself. But hey, sorry for the hiatus, but we are ready to discuss some good old wrestling. And joining me in the booth tonight is the one and only. Well, we had him here on the podcast before. Is Ian?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, Ian. Good to see you.
It's great to be back.
Yes. Now, real quick before we move on to tonight's topic and the question that we proposed during the Mag West episode. I just want to explain to you why CWF has been. I mean, the Twitch channel was a little quiet for the past few weeks, and Ian was there for a lot of it too. It was a mixture of us needing to take care of some Mag West postmortems. Not to mention, I had the pleasure of flying out to Virginia, then Burbank, California, to visit some theme parks, and well, I'm engaged.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. It's quite it's something. I got a ring on me. So our listeners out there, I hope you could forgive me for not doing an episode. I wanted to really just take some time because if you do it right, you only get engaged once.
Exactly.
Anyway, Ian, how's the week's been treating you?
Well, I've been a busy boy myself on the life. But every Wednesday and now Tuesday, I find myself sitting down and
Yeah, you have a
watching
box here.
a total of 3 hours worth of wrestling a week. And I love it.
Yes.
Every moment of it.
Yes, to tonight's episode, if you haven't seen the tweets and the special title, but we are finally going to be talking about the Wednesday Night Wars. Yeah, it's like the Monday Night Wars, except you take the M and flip it upside down.
And we spell the word a little bit differently. Otherwise, it's the one day.
It's the one day. It's an amazing time for wrestling. Just not an amazing time for WWE, which will probably come up. But hey, let's go ahead and answer our question from the Mag West episode. And obviously, if anybody here wants to chime in with their feelings on what we are talking about, feel free to post in the green room. Now, the question was, I think it was who asked it? Was it Jack?
It was Jack. Jack posted.
Jack posted, which was, if you were a performer in the CWF, what would you like to do? And if not, who would you like to be? Which, okay, this is a pretty interesting question because it's the first ever CWF specific question we gotten. And to the benefit of both Ian and myself, we are performers.
Yes. And then to those of you at home, some of you who are listening might not be, but that's okay, because if you aren't, we want to know who you would be.
Yes, but let's go ahead and answer this question because I mean it's like the cosplay's Achilles heel is whenever you start working on cosplay, you think of like 5 other characters you want to be, and your list is never done. But like, I want to do that, and I want to do that, and that, and that.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So, CWF is not immune to this predicament. So, in a perfect world, I'll ask you first, Ian. In a perfect world where you did not have to worry about winning the belts or show flow or getting the materials, who would you be?
Hands down, Saint Seiya.
Saint Seiya. Wait,
Saint Seiya.
someone. Wait, okay, I don't know this series. Is that like, isn't that a squad?
No, it is actually, well, Seiya is specifically the character. So Saint Seiya is a series that is old but also new. It has it's all on Crunchyroll. But the specific one I'm referring to is the main character Seiya from. Let me get his name real quick. Let's see here. Well, the thing is they just call him Seiya. Pegasus Seiya, the main character. He's the one that I would pick. I really just like him as a character a whole lot. Seiya's just also got this really neat design, and it would be cool to come out round one dressed in like the silver armor, but then in round two come out in the gold armor. He's got the show is a really bombastic theme that is just it's so good to listen to. There's a metal version of it too, which makes it just like work out even more for CWF. But I just like, it's not the materials, it's not the character itself, like that's or not the character itself, but rather it's like putting the character into CWF that has me at a loss of like what I need to do in order to portray that. An easier answer to that, one that's on the list, is Trevor Belmont, but I'm going to keep everything about him a secret.
Understandably so. I mean, like, you don't want to give away what you're actually going to do. And also, hello, AJ. Welcome. Thanks for listening. Hey, AJ. Yes, the never-ending cosplay. The cosplan list. My bad. It's the cosplan list is when you do your list. Okay, so for me, oh man, like I struggle because I think of a lot of stuff that is good in concept, right? Like for other people to do, like I would like to see it, but I don't think about like, oh my god, I want to do this, and I feel really bad coming out with this wishy-washy answer because of the simple fact that, you know, I had about 2 weeks to think of it, but, you know.
No, you didn't. You were busy.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I think if I had to think real hard on this, okay, this is me, Gerardo Paz, getting to be his dream entry, doing what he wants to do. It would probably be, God. Oh, man, this is... Actually, if I wanted to be shot, okay? If I wanted to be shot in the face, I'd probably be Teddy from Persona 4.
I mean, I definitely, for one, could see you doing it, knowing
what
I know.
Like, everybody knows. It's just, like, I think back to the characters that define me, and that's one of them, and just, I could do it. That's the thing. I could instantly do it, no problem. But it will be everyone else's problem.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be everyone else's problem.
Everybody would be like, oh, no.
Oh, it's like, fuck
How
this guy.
do I compete with that?
It's like, fuck this guy.
Damn it, G, why the fuck did you have to do this?
Yeah, no, that's certainly if I hate everyone, I do that. I totally do that.
I mean, I would sit there and laugh my ass off every step of the way.
Ooh, Captain Okita from Avatar. I'm not old, the world is. See, this is the stuff, like, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, there's just so many characters I just want to see. I want to see a Zuko. I want to see an Iroh. I want to see Jackie Chan from Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh yeah, no, I was actually like literally thinking about Jackie Chan from Jackie Chan Adventures specifically because there's that new Netflix show that came out that's being passed off as anime, and it's kind of got like this Jackie Chan Adventures feel to it,
Oh
but
yeah, that
for
one.
older people, but it's because it's more gruesome. And I was just like, oh man, Jackie Chan Adventures would be like super cool. And you guys were saying it on the Mag West episode, if I remember correctly, this year has been a year where we're like getting a lot of these entries that you guys have been asking for a very long time. Like Robotnik was one of them from what you guys were saying. Kamina,
Yeah, we
like
wanted Kamino, we wanted Robotnik. For the longest time, I wanted a Dan Hibiki, and Vance answer that. I wanted a Mr. Satan, and Jaime has answered that.
yeah, I can't. I hope Vance comes through to a SoCal or NorCal convention with Dan before he debuts his other character that he wants to do, because I think him performing uh, at like Fanime or a Extreme Rules or one of those shows as Dan would be great. But I do know that his other character is just, oh man, I can't wait for it.
Okay, but let's talk. Let's stop with the theoreticals, because it's not fun for the audience to be like, we could tell, listening to a bunch of we know but we can't tell you. And let's go ahead and talk about something that we do want to talk about, and that's the Wednesday Night Warfare. Because
Before that,
yes,
before that,
yes, yes.
AJ stated Winifred Sanderson, and I didn't like. I read Sanderson, but my mind didn't click until I searched for it. Oh my God, the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus would be phenomenally hysterical in the CWF. My
Oh,
mind is racing with how funny it would be.
yo, yeah, we're overdue for some Disney stuff. We are.
Oh, oh my God.
Mainly the Disney villains. Like, Aladdin's cool, but I don't think Aladdin could hold the stage as opposed to like Jafar,
Yeah, Scar.
Fro,
Scar would be awesome.
Judge Frollo.
Judge Frollo would be great. I think like certain heroes would work. Like Mulan is like the hero that I see working the most in
Well,
CWF.
a lot of the more recent Disney movies, the heroes are like, it's an inverse where the villains are the least interesting character and the pro tags are the most interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about Mulan was though that they were, for me at least, they were able to blend that. Like Hades and Hercules also feels that way to me too, where
Oh
the
yeah. I
hero
mean,
and the villain are like is equally interesting.
I mean, Hercules is interesting, but he's not less interesting because he's written less interesting. It's more so he's less interesting because Hades is just that good.
Oh no, I agree. I agree.
He's God. Everybody loves Hades. I think what does the internet
I
call him?
love Hades.
He's your gay best friend.
Ah,
Doctor
Dr.
Facilier. Now that's another good one.
Who is that?
That's the voodoo guy from Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen The Princess and the Frog. I need to fix that, but that would be awesome.
Like, Dr. Facilier and Mother Gothel are kind of like the last classic Disney villains before they shifted over to the pro tag side.
Mm. Yeah, because a lot of Gothel is like like Gothel's character is really good in Tangled.
Oh yeah, dude, like, if you were to be Mother Gothel in the CWF, you have to gaslight the audience for 5 minutes. No,
Oh man.
disclaimer, we're laughing at the idea, not the act of gaslighting. Fuck
No,
it.
yeah, not the no, yeah, exactly. I'm not laughing at the act. I'm laughing at like the concept of like one of our competitors performers getting up on stage and proceeding to either attempt or succeeded in pulling off a gaslighting trick of the
But
audience.
fuck gaslighting.
Yeah, fuck actual gaslighting. Don't do it. If
Don't.
you do it, terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Eat a stunner. Okay, but hey, let's go ahead and ready to talk wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
So
100%.
wrestling. Now, a little to bring people in, because not everybody who follows the CWF follows pro wrestling, which is a-okay. But if you have an opportunity, you should, especially at this day and age, where the ability to follow a wrestling promotion of your choice is easier than ever, with some exceptions, as I'll get into that. We are
Yeah.
in an amazing time, the Wednesday Night Wars, where we have two competing shows, NXT and AEW Dynamite, which are both very good shows, though one of them is doing a lot better in the ratings. And yeah, it's great. Overall impressions of how your Wednesdays are with wrestling, Ian.
I mean, so I only really currently have been watching AEW Dynamite. I did last week catch the last like 15 minutes of NXT because it runs over currently, and I watched like the last bit of the Walter Kushida match, and it was absolutely stunning. Uh, but that's the only thing I've watched of NXT currently. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch those episodes. I just haven't had the chance to, and I can watch them on Hulu because they put NXT episodes on Hulu next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that. But my Wednesdays are: I get home from work, I sit down, I take everything in, I turn on the television, I turn on my PlayStation 4, and I flip it over to the television app, and I sit down and I prepare to watch what is 2 hours of just great roller coaster rides of matches. It's so high energy. Like, each week the crowd has been great. This week the crowd has been the most great because it was Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is like one of the biggest wrestling cities in the US. And all I can think of is like, I can't wait for them to get here.
Yeah, aren't they? Haven't they just been hovered around Midwest, East Coast?
Yeah, they announced a couple of dates, I think, they announced a date for Texas. So they're starting to like slowly inch over towards us, and I'm just like, oh man, come on, announce a date for Seattle, announce a date for California, announce a date for Phoenix. Let's go. I'm like itching to see what the other like side of our continent, or not continent, but our country is gonna have, like in the terms of their energy and what the energy is going to be like at these shows.
Oh yeah, I mean, wait, have they done a show in? Is a show in Chicago planned yet?
Probably not, because they did do All Out there.
Okay, well, so they've. All right, good. As long as, I mean, because Chicago is one of the most notorious wrestling cities.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. All right. Before we go ahead and really go into the meat and potatoes of the discussion, I'd like to have us lay out our quote unquote our biases. First off, I think trying to feign objectivity is overrated because it's impossible. So you might as well just say what you are up front, and then, as opposed to this useless posturing of impartiality. I myself, I still watch WWE regularly, thanks to the network. I love NXT. That's how I met my partner, through NXT and through NXT cosplay. So that's my bias. I will admit that I am not as harsh on WWE as the rest of the internet, but when they do something bad, Saudi Arabia,
So,
yeah, I'll let him know. But with that said, I do not want AEW Dynamite to go away, because AEW Dynamite is really good right now. The worst thing I could say about AEW Dynamite is the viewing experience that TNT provides to the cord cutter, which I'll get to later. But I just wanted to put out there, Ian, you're I know you're like knee deep, die in the wall at AEW guy.
No, I agree that like there's an issue with the fact that the way they're presenting it online is not a great thing, because I mean I technically watch it off of TV via my PlayStation 4, but not everyone's going to want to either pay for that or uh, has the ability to pay for that, and I do think that they need to find a way to remedy the ability for other people to watch it.
Right, but in terms of the two camps, I know that there's a lot of people in AEW that you've been following for a long time, right?
Uh so I mean I've been following Kenny, the Bucks, Cody ever since he left. At least like keeping an eye on him. I haven't like followed them in like when they were Ring of Honor, but their New Japan stuff is when I started like really like getting into it, and that was about like 2-3 years ago ish now. And like I'm not as key in on all of these new people that I'm seeing. Like Riho, I'm just learning about, and I love her, and I want to protect her, even though she can protect herself.
Even though she could
Um,
probably kill you.
yeah, no, perfectly fine with it too. Uh, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Oh man, dude, there's not a wrestler alive that has a submission that makes me cringe more than hers. Um, and then, of course, like there's Darby, who I didn't know during his independent time. I knew of him because of a promo for the Road to Fighter Fest, and like I will tell you, I love the NXT crew. NXT is my favorite show for WWE. It doesn't have my like all of my favorite people on its roster because that's impossible. But it's my favorite show for WWE, partially because it's just a better product. Though I do feel that AEW offers something different that NXT cannot provide at this current state.
Uh, uh, Jeremy is there. Hey, Black Friday, aren't guys in the AEW still indie? I mean, they're not exclusive, and they can keep booking. Darby Allin was out here a couple of weeks ago for a local Fed. Um, I do know that the AEW people, they do sign contracts, but I think their contracts have way less stipulations than a WWE contract. Though
Yep.
an NXT contract, it's not uncommon for them to be seen at Evolve and Shimmer, so it has some wiggle room. But
There's and it's same thing with NXT UK. There's some
oh
wiggle room
God,
on the
yes, you know what?
promotions.
Just please, people like don't there's way too many people sleeping on NXT UK that I am comfortable
There
with.
is, there is
There is. Because freaking Walter versus Tyler Bate. Oh my God.
really good match.
Real good match. All right.
But no, Jeremy has it right. There's a lot of wrestlers that have been still wrestling for independent promotions, and I think it's just like the grade of contract that they have with AEW. I'm not sure what entirely it is because I know Darby's been wrestling a couple of few indie shows. I'm not sure if he's done wrestling those indie shows though, because they're really high on him
I think also
in
Pac
AEW.
is kind of like floating around.
Yeah, so far, but I think he's actually about to be like a little bit more tied down by AEW, as is Moxley. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm not entirely sure of the specifics, but if they're allowed to work for their regional federations to keep them busy, then that's really good.
That's cool because a wrestler, it's hard to get regular work. Well, in general, hi millennials, but definitely as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about AEW Dynamite. Now, I had the pleasure of a good friend letting me letting me use their TNT account to watch AEW. I've seen the first two episodes of Dynamite, and I've been following NXT, on Thursdays because I got the network. I don't need a fight and channel flip. I watched the first episode on the app and the second episode on my home PC, and holy shit, the app is shit.
Yeah.
All right. All right, users, I want you to listen to my amazing tale of me trying to watch AEW Dynamite episode 1 on the app. First off, there are commercial breaks, as in you watch a commercial like a YouTube video. There were like at least 9 to 10. Problem: each commercial break, I saw the same commercial. It gets even better. It gets even better. I saw the same commercial. If your app closes in the middle of a commercial break, which is 160 seconds, it's mandatory 160 seconds, guess what? Starts over with the same commercials.
Oh God,
Oh
that's
God.
terrible.
Oh yeah, even better. On the TV, when a match would go to commercial, like Riho versus Nyla Rose, they'd say, Jim Ross, we're going picture in picture. I didn't get that. I didn't get the picture in picture. I just get, we're going in picture commercial, and then 1, 2, 3. It was bad. It was bad, and also it's expensive. All right, to watch AEW Dynamite, you have to either pay for Hulu Prime, which is $45, or you're required to sign on with your cable credentials. All right.
PlayStation View is another way to do it, which is what I've been doing, and I will be cutting off here soon. I'm going to figure out another way to watch it, legally, of course. But I mean, like, I like PlayStation View, but I'm only using it for one thing right now, and that's to watch AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I got Hulu Prime, which sort of thinking about, I could do that, and I could watch all the stuff that I already watch on Hulu, but then have the live way to watch AEW Dynamite. So
yeah, I like it. I would like to keep watching AEW Dynamite, but it's not $45 a month to pay for a service for one thing. And keep in mind, I'm coming from the network where we could, laugh at the network all we want, but I get my 3 shows and I get my NXT, and I don't have to have as many commercial breaks.
And you get the pay-per-views.
And I get the pay-per-views. Hell,
where you're currently still going to have to pay for the pay-per-views.
They should be paying
AEW.
for me. They should be paying me after Hell in a Cell.
They should be paying you after Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell was awful and garbage.
Oh, poor.
And I wanted so desperately for you to have a backstage pass the week after Hell in a Cell, because I wanted to be on it. Because, oh my God, if there's ever any time that they decided to bury a gimmick, or at least like bury a match stipulation, Hell in a Cell was it.
Oh, dude.
This year's Hell in a Cell was it was a great card up until that last match. That last match was I'm going to say it was a fucking train wreck. It was a travesty on a front to Seth Rollins, on a front to Bray Wyatt, on a front to the Hell in a Cell stipulation match itself. I got on Twitter instantly and said, y'all complaining about this remind me of how I complained that the Ryback John Cena last man standing match from Extreme Rules in 2013 ended in a no contest because Ryback speared Cena through the set and the ref wouldn't let the match continue. It's a last man standing match. It is in the goddamn title. You let them answer to the count of 10. You don't call the match because you think it goes too far.
Oh, let's not forget that this is also the second Hell in a Cell that has ended in a no contest.
Yeah.
So
in 2 years.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
And they're this is Mankind almost freaking died, and the match continued.
Yeah. There's so much to be said. Jeremy says in the chat, I have to point this out, that he believes the presentation for AEW's TV is a little lacking in a few regards, and that he's been bored. I'm sorry to hear that you're bored. I can understand that. I like some of the things that they're doing, though, that are really interesting. I think they need to work timing out a little bit, which has to deal with
commercials.
Commercials for one, but they have these really cool cameras. I don't know if you were paying attention. I don't know how much attention you were paying.
Okay. Before we, I keep saying that phrase a lot. Real quick, I want to talk about one of the reasons why I feel watching AEW is more enjoyable than NXT. and it's not the wrestling. I think the wrestling's on par, and sometimes it's even better on NXT. However, that crowd is large and hot.
Yeah, 100%. Agree.
Because the Full Sail crowd is good, but they get tired at the 2 hour mark because it's a small room, and the crowd is so hot, and they will will a good match to a great match. Like Cody versus the first match of AEW. Cody versus
Sammy
Guevara, which Joe calls a walking STD.
He's pretty terrible. He's an awful human being.
But that was a good match, but the crowd made it a great match.
Oh, yeah, well, it was... I love that match. It was really well planned, especially to, like, hints later in the evening and stuff, which we'll get to. But it's... yeah.
Okay, but I think that's a really big factor in wrestling for me, because watching Raw and SmackDown, I take crowd reaction. I forgot how much I miss it, because it's just so, like, everyone comes out and it's like a week yay and a week moo, or just nobody feels over unless it's very specific moments in WWE history, like Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston,
Tommaso Ciampa returning on NXT.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa. Well, I mean, I'm talking about main roster NXT.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a reaction in NXT.
And I mean, like, I can understand that. 2 years ago, there was that gauntlet match that happened on Raw that saw Seth Rollins wrestle like 2 hours out of a 3-hour show, or at least the gauntlet match was 2 hours, and he wrestled like an hour and 15 to an hour and 45. I remember I was there, and that match had like its lowest of lows, but when it was the highest of highs, that crowd was on fire.
But you know, it's just I mean, lulled Attitude Era, because. But the one thing about the Attitude Era was I just remember the pops and the highs.
Agreed.
And this is AEW Dynamite is very evocative of that. And also AEW Dynamite, they got money. Dude, those freaking cameras, I didn't realize, another thing I didn't realize I missed, shooting on location. Oh God, like Sammy Guevara doing parkour, SCU in front of the White House. I missed this. I legitimately missed this.
The SCU on the White House promo was one of the greatest things ever, and they need to push Scorpio Sky to the moon, because his Barack Obama impression is so gold. It is damn brilliant. It is one of the best Obama impressions I've heard in my entire life. He just nails the cadence of his voice, the way he speaks, everything. Tone, all of it. It's so good.
Agreed. Now, if I haven't seen enough AEW to tell you my AEW NXT dream match.
Ooh.
And it's way too similar. It would be Private Party versus Street Profits.
I would watch the crap out of that. Private Party is so good.
Private Party is so good, but I was like, wow, this is AEW's version of the Street Profits, and I'm okay with this. Oh my God, I want to see Mark versus Montez Ford. Holy shit!
I would love that. That would be a great ass match to watch.
That would be a great match. Like, they got the Private Party and the sippy cups. Like, oh my God, I'm salivating. If I had a wrestling genie right now, I'd ask for that match to be booked.
Oh, I don't think I'd like I currently couldn't answer that question. Maybe maybe like Gargano versus Darby.
I was just say Pac versus Gargano or something. Just throw Gargano against anybody in this dream match.
Yeah, it's like Gargano. Like that's the reason why I'm trying to like think of like not Gargano.
Not Gargano.
Who not Gargano would I put up against somebody on the AEW roster? Io Shirai versus Rio.
Ooh, not
especially now that.
Not
Io
Kairi
Shirai
Sane versus?
No, well, because like Kairi's on Raw.
Oh, here we go. Ciampa versus Hangman Page.
Hangman Page. That would be amazing, and I would pay so much money to see that. Like,
wait,
on fantasy booking level.
Guys, we're overthinking it. Velveteen Dream versus Dustin Rhodes.
Oh yeah, we could actually have that match now.
We could have that. Oh man. Please.
I would love to see that match. Like if Dustin was able to embrace like Sammy Guevara versus Lio Rush, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Dang, Jeremy's just like spitting out these hot fire ideas. Like the problem is like there's no one like Darby in NXT to like go push him and like say go play with this person. Because they don't have anybody like him. Like, I mean, Ciampa versus Darby might be fun to watch. Like, how far will Ciampa go, and how much pain can Darby Allin take?
Oh, that would be fun. That would be. Oh, Nyla Rose versus Bianca Belair. That's another good one.
I like Bianca as a person, like an actual person, but I'm not a fan of her as a wrestler. And that's just like the only thing I really like about her is that she whips people with her hair, and that's fucking fun.
Wait! I got it. Darby Allin versus Pete Dunne.
Oh, actually, you know what? That would be really good. I think they might have wrestled on the Indies before.
Probably have. It's the Indies. All right, but
okay.
Dream matches aside. Oh yes.
I need to say this thing. So one of my favorite things about NXT is their camera setup. Their camera setup is slightly different than your normal wrestling setup. Like they have their normal cameras, but they have these two very specific cameras that one they need to start using more often, and two, I wish they could put them on every turnbuckle. I understand that they can't, but the turnbuckle cameras are my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Are you talking about those low turnbuckle cameras when someone rams into the post?
Like the ones that are like really like eye level, so you can just watch the velocity of the hit. Like if they could use those in like a way to put you more into the action of like maybe when a match starts, have people like squaring off diagonally, right? So you can get that low in camera. Like I would just be thinking of ways to use that camera for great golden, like good shots that are just different. I like those cameras. I think they're really different. They put you in the action in a unique and new way. And that's stuff that just like jumps out at me.
All right, Ian. I've been dictating the pace. What's the you want to talk about? AEW.
Darby Allin.
Okay, well, I think Darby Allin's going to be a subject all throughout the night, especially when he did a run-in on the skateboard.
Darby Allin is like literally everything I wish wrestling had like maybe 4 years ago. Where was this person when I was like he feels like the new CM Punk, at least for me, in different terms of that like subjectivity. Like he's going to be big. He is going to go places.
Darby Allin reminds me of a Lucha Underground character who forgot to go to Lucha Underground.
That's actually a really good like context for it. So you didn't watch episode 3, but his match with Jericho for the AEW Championship is absolutely amazing, and Jericho does elevate that match to like the highest heights that it needs to be. But there's a spot that I didn't see happening, and that when it did happen, and after that like particular interaction, the rest of the match just like Darby sort of carried it with both hands behind his back. Literally.
Oh. I do want to talk about Chris Jericho, Le Champion.
Le Champion.
Le Champion. And the Inner Circle. This is very classic booking. Is you get a bad guy with the belt, and you surround the bad guy with some badder dudes, and just want him to get his mouth punched.
Oh yeah, I really can't wait to watch Chris drop the title. I mean, I'm enjoying his run because it's the first run and it's interesting. But like, he lost the title after he won it. Way to go, Chris.
A little bit of the bubbly.
I actually disagree with that statement. I think they came at the right time. I think the Inner Circle, the way they formed, was perfect. I think it's needed. Because like, otherwise, like, what's Chris at that point? He's just Chris. Whereas if he surrounds himself, it's perfect for him. It makes him look like a general. It makes him look like he has years of experience, and he gets to uplift some people at the same time. Like, he calls the shots for the Inner Circle.
Oh,
they're
dude.
not equals.
They're his confidants.
Yeah, as he put it, they are his confidants.
Oh my gosh, I never thought Jack Swagger would be so scary.
Jake Hager is the most terrifying thing, but like,
dude, when he threw those clotheslines, they look like death.
Yeah, just that clothesline where he turned Hangman Page inside out on the outside of the ring. Woof. Oh man, I was just like, that's two dudes that are like the same height, and one of them just turned the other one inside out. Ow. And again, I see like where Jeremy's coming from, but I feel like every single person that's aligned with him is aligned for aligned to him in the appropriate way and is aligned to him for all the right reasons. Having Ortiz and Santana on him as the tag team bodyguards are really good because not everyone knows who LAX was. Some of the people who watch AEW probably know who Santana and Ortiz are, but like, if you're just tuning in for the first time, putting all of these people on Jericho is a great thing. If you're tuning over from WWE, you know who Jack Swagger is, even though he's now Jake Hager.
Yeah, dude. The one thing the anime fan in me is the video game player in me is looking at the Inner Circle. It's like, okay, so we got Chris Jericho as the main boss. Sammy Guevara would definitely be the first boss.
Yep.
The two Latino dudes, that's the boss that double teams you. And Jake Hagar is the right hand boss that is stronger than the main boss and more difficult than the main boss.
And you have to fight him right before.
Yeah, you fight him right before, and he probably has a second form or some bullshit like that.
It's really funny because like, as he calls himself Le Champion, and he calls the other people confidants. Chris, I didn't know you were a Persona 5 fan. He just keeps using vernacular from Persona 5 for some of his promos, and I'm just like
Jericho's vernacular. Like, he doesn't call himself the champion. He is Le Champion.
He is Le Champion. They are not his friends. They are not his cohorts. They are his confidants.
But his confidants.
He's playing the character so well, and I mean, the Inner Circle is like a subject that I could go on for like hours on end, but I would be like, I actually disagree. I disagree because Darby is one of those people who's like lesser known.
Let me just read the comments so our listeners on Anchor. Jeremy writes, I'm somewhat irritated that AEW so far isn't investing its lesser known talented people. They're talking up Paige and MJF, but both guys aren't central to the larger stories in AEW right now. Okay,
so that being said, Private Party was put over by the Young Bucks in episode 2. And that was the best thing that could have happened. Are Private Party going to win the tag team championships? I would like them to. Actually.
Okay, you got Jericho with the main title, and you got Rio. You got Rio face. So the tag titles could either go if it's not a face team, it's the Inner Circle. I mean, it's the Dark Order. It's just...
Yeah. Which actually some people are saying that with the way they've been like hinting at the tournament, unless SCU and the Lucha Brothers take each other out by interrupting matches somehow, some way, because third episode shenanigans happened between them. People are thinking that it's going to be SCU versus the Lucha Bros in the finals. Now, a lot of people are also saying that they're, just like Jeremy saying, that they're expecting the Lucha Brothers to win. And I can understand that.
Lucha Brothers have been putting in a lot of work.
They have. And they definitely would deserve it. And it's, again, a good thing to elevate the title by putting on some well-known people to hold the titles for the first time. The person in me just looks at Private Party and goes, those guys are fun. We have two very serious champions, Rio, who is a face, and Chris Jericho, who's a heel. The tag team titles should be fun. Serious, but fun.
Well, that could.
We should put them on Private Party.
What about Jungle Boy?
I love their. Well, I already know how that goes. I love Lucha Express or Jungle Express, Jurassic Express. I love Jungle Boy. I love Luchasaurus, and I love Marco Stunt. Luchasaurus does things in a ring that I've never seen a dude over 6 foot do before, and I'm terrified of him. I just don't know what else to say about him. He's just like, he's got a master's degree. That's a bit.
Probably an archaeology or something.
I absolutely don't know, but it's a bit on being the elite. I just wanted to bring it up because it's funny to me. It's like Brian Wecht from Ninja Sex Party saying, I have a PhD. Yeah.
But, okay, there's I know you brought up Young Bucks versus Private Party. There was one thing that's a segue I'd like to talk about is the commentary is so godlike.
Okay, so like.
Oh, you're gonna disagree with me?
No, not all of it, not like 100%. I like the commentary at times. I think the commentary is really good when it's there. So there are certain times where in certain matches that I feel like they could be commenting on other things. Like, for instance, I don't need to know that Rio is 98 pounds every 5 minutes.
True, but I think for me, I find the commentary refreshing just because of the attitude.
Oh, I find it a refreshing pace for the most part.
Yeah, it's a refreshing pace. It's not a hashtag trending worldwide.
Yeah, they just let that stuff speak for itself.
And not to mention, nobody is working color, as in heel color, like the Corey Graves. Everybody's just bringing their unique perspectives into it, which is, indicative because Tony and Excalibur and Jim Ross were never heel commentators.
Yeah. And I think Jeremy has it right here. Shivani isn't meshing well and needs to get current. He tried to pick up from his WCW days, and the business has changed since then. And I agree with that statement. Did you ever watch like the stuff that Golden Boy did with them?
Which specials?
So he did the commentary for the Road to Fight. He did the commentary for Fyter Fest's buy-in show, which you can watch on YouTube. And he did some of the commentary, I believe, also for All Out as well.
Yeah, the only AEW show I saw before Dynamite was Fyter Fest, but I watched it live.
Yeah. So, like, if you ever get the chance, go back and watch. Golden Boy is like... Do you watch Raw, so you know about Dio Madden.
Oh, yeah. Dio Madden's so good.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely wonderful. Golden Boy is like the Dio Madden for AEW.
Was he the one who yelled out Wombo Combo?
Yes. Yes, he was. he's a video game player, so I'm like, I like this because this actually like it does things for me, and he's gonna get to do some commentary on actual AEW shows and stuff when Shivani's not able to be there, because Shivani has some prior engagements elsewhere as well. And that's one of the reasons why they hired him.
But like I said, it's not so much what they're saying. I just really appreciate the attitude that the commentary has. Because, I mean, people shit on Michael Cole, and a lot of it's justified. But you have to remember, people forget that Michael Cole is good at commentating. Do you remember the UK Championship?
Oh, 100%.
And how, like, he was godly in that.
If you let him go and he doesn't have to say anything that you're forcing him into his ear, if you're not forcing him to say stuff, Michael's fine. I've said this. The commentary business needs to change. You can tell them when they're going to commercial break and stuff, but don't yell at them what they're supposed to be saying. Let them say what they should say.
Yes, please. I, as someone who who just recently moved into commentating games like for DDR and such, and Def Jam Fight for New York, I really am understanding and seeing the subtleties of commentary firsthand, and it's tough. And with Vince in your ear, that's just ouch.
Yeah, I want to make like an entire video about why fighting game commentary needs to be what wrestling commentary becomes. Just tell them when they're going to break. Tell them when they need to say a thing or two, and also just give them bullet points on like, in between this match, please promote this thing. Don't, because like that's what everyone else does for fighting game. Like they have that list of that stuff in front of them to promote other things, but they're not being told these things.
They're just calling the match. And back to Michael Cole, there is one call Cole made that always gives me goosebumps whenever I play back the match. It's the dog poo. No, I'm kidding. Not. It's Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar. And there's a moment when Eddie DDTs Lesnar onto the gold, and Taz he cheated with that move, and Eddie's climbing up, and Michael's all, come on Eddie, come on. Every time a commentator breaks impartiality and is rooting for somebody, that always gets me.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind some of that because it adds to the drama for like the people at home when it's appropriate.
When it's appropriate, like when Nigel McGuinness during the Ciampa Gargano fight is yelling, "Enough is enough."
Yeah, stuff like that. Like the times when they go too far. I kind of also like the Eddie Guerrero example that you just mentioned. That's really because I like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, because we all wanted Eddie to win, and then when Michael is saying, "Come on, Eddie, come on," he's vocalizing the thoughts we have.
Yeah, I really like that stuff. When they're impartial, it's fine.
It's fine. Oh,
when
yeah.
They're non-impartial. It depends on the moment.
Yeah, Jim Ross was very non-impartial, as Jeremy put it. Come on, Austin, get there, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, but like for Jim on like WWE, it added to Jim's character, which was good. Like you can be an impartial commentator and not have stakes in a match, but you can still make that match like amazing. Whereas, I don't know. I think WWE is like this really weird dynamic with their commentary currently. Not just because of like Vince shouting in somebody's ear what to say, but also because like on Raw you have a 3-table booth.
Oh, it is, but like I don't mind the 3-person booths in NXT because Manalo is amazing.
Morrow is just like hands down. I think my favorite commentator. Like, period.
He's I modeled a lot of my commentary off of him, and because of that, a lot more tournaments want me. Thanks, Manalo. But he's great. Beth Phoenix is really good, and Nigel McGuinness has slipped into that role real nicely.
Yeah, I think every single person on the NXT commentary team is stupid good.
Stupid good.
Even
Percy Watson was good.
Percy was really good when he was on commentary.
He started off a little rough, but I when he left, I really missed him.
Same. I thought it was a lot of fun to have on the table. NXT shows you how a 3-person commentary booth can work. AEW also shows how it can work with different energy, but I do agree with Jeremy's past points that like he said a few things earlier in the chat, like for instance, they just don't seem to like keep on track, and that's fine because I know fighting game commentators who don't always keep on track. Now, is the commentary still enjoyable? Yes. Do they try to keep that keeping off track between matches? Yes. And it's funny. Like, if you ever get the chance, the 2 commentators that I think and the ones that if I was like a wrestling commentator, I'd like to model myself after, or just a fighting game commentator in general, I should get back into that because I did used to do it. D1 and TK Breezy. They are Smash commentators. And D1 is one of my favorite commentators, bar none. Like, I love Ultra David. I love James Chen. They're great commentators as well. D1 brings this hype level to anything. You can find a video of them on YouTube commentating about rock, paper, scissors and reenacting the rock, paper, scissors matches from this, like, smaller Smash tournament, and it's the best thing ever. They do things that are just very, very different. And I agree also with that. Corey Graves should teach a class. He's all character, energy, and quick thinking, and he is. And he's better for it. He does make some mistakes on air. He does say some weird things, but hey, that's going to happen. But, like, Corey is my favorite heel commentator.
I remember my favorite line from Corey Graves was, I saw a homeless man on the street and I gave him $50 because he wasn't Elias.
Oh my god. And that's the great thing is, like, he's a heel commentator, but, like, for some reason, he just hated Elias.
He hated Elias and he hated Enzo. No matter what their alignment was, he just hated them.
He just hated them. And it was like because it showed that he's like, he has his morals as a character. Oh. That, like, I may be a dick, but that guy, fuck that guy.
Oh my god. I also remember the Australia special of NXT where Elias covered Bruce Springsteen and Corey Graves all, Elias just demoted the boss to the secretary. How the hell did he get to Australia anyway? Did he sew a bunch of hipster scarves together and build himself a raft? Okay, but the commentary really speaks to me. Pun intended. Pun intended. But it's this overall. There's this attitude in AEW, which is we treat wrestling very seriously. It's almost New Japan-esque, where it's a legitimate combat sport, right down to wins and losses being tracked. When I saw that scorecard, I went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and I mean, like, it even speaks because, like, you've seen up to episode 2. So in episode 2, Darby Allin had a #1 contenders match with Jimmy Havoc. Now, for anyone keeping score at home, Pac is 3-0. Currently, he's 3-1. But at that time, he was 3-0. And the idea for I do have a question about this, which I'm going to pose once I get through this story that Jeremy's like sort of posing to me. The idea is that Darby is 1-1-1. So he has 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. The draw came from Cody at Fyter Fest because they went to time, and it's a great match, and everybody should go watch it.
I watched it live.
Yes. The loss is to Jimmy Havoc not at that match, but before that match, in a triple threat match, the Cracker Barrel triple threat match that happened at All Out. And then his win came from AEW Dark, which you can watch on YouTube every Tuesday. They are also posted online, so you can just watch the ones you missed, where he faced Shima and beat him. So the winner of this was going to go on to face Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship this week. That match, of course, happened. And Darby beat Jimmy. Now, the following match had Jon Moxley versus Shawn Spears. And the entire time, Pac was on commentary.
Salty as fuck.
Salty as the Dead Sea. This bitch was so salty that he's not being considered for a title shot match, that he, after Kenny came out with a barbed wire broom and a barbed wire bat to throw at Moxley so they could start beating each other up, he got off commentary, grabbed a steel chair, and hit Kenny in the back of the head with it.
I'm 3-0, how come I'm not in the title picture?
Yeah.
Rightfully so, he's salty, but that,
100%.
that angle could only have happened with the scorecard.
Yeah, with the scorecard, which is the reason why, like, everybody was all like, why, before the week leading up to it, because it was announced, of course, the week before, they're like, why are they doing this? Pac's 3-0 in a promotion where wins and losses matter. Why is this happening? Well, it's happening so we can tell an additional story. We've just started. We have to build up some of that stuff. Now, the question I have, these wins and losses should continue to matter. Is AEW going to follow the format of going on seasons, where they will have a career win and loss eventually, but after a certain point, for a season in hockey or baseball or any other professional sport, the wins and losses will roll over and will start at a 0-0.
That's true, because they could also do the NXT approach to winning, which is a wrestler racks up a bunch of wins and they go, hey, William Regal, I've been winning a lot. Can I get a title shot? Well, yes, you have been winning a lot. So, how about this? In 2 weeks from now, you will be the number one. Just little stuff like that makes me happy. Because I love my wrestling. I treat my wrestling like a comic book. And everything just feels so much stronger when there's continuity, which is why Lucha Underground was so good. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's the reason why I've been enjoying AEWs, because week to week the continuity has been great.
It's great, and they don't have to worry about another show, aka like Raw and SmackDown. They got their one show, and
you can't get it created like that.
Yeah. Jeremy says, stop reading your wrestling. You can't get it. Because definitely WWE treats its viewers like we got a memory of a goldfish. Like, no, this person was always winning. Or somebody shows up and gets a title shot. Cain Velasquez!
Or you're Jinder fucking Mahal and you're a jobber 1 week and then you're like the biggest thing the next.
Well, actually, they did explain that. They did explain that because he got a flash win, but then he was so infused with confidence that he believed his own hype.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes more sense. I think that's true. Like, the jobber, like, he just got lucky and then he thought he was the shit. That's plausible. Way more plausible than Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, there's there's
I know, okay, listeners out there, I know that if we try to put, like, the way you kill wrestling is you put too much logic into it. But in WWE land, the logic discrepancies are so bad that you can't ignore them. Like The Fiend, okay? We're gonna talk about Hell in the Cell, right?
All right, cool. Let's do it. I've always wanted to talk about this. Hell in a Cell was a travesty because of what they did to the Fiend.
But here's the thing about the Fiend, okay? So we've established that the Fiend can eat 11 curb stomps, multiple chair shots, a sledgehammer shot, a toolbox bashing. Okay, that means that in order to beat the Fiend, you might as well shoot him. That's it. That's the only way. You have to.
Yeah. He's a monster. He's literally a monster. You can't hit him in the head with a chair. Like, the coolest spot of that whole match was when Seth got the kendo stick and started hitting him with it. And he just was just like, what kendo stick?
Yeah, so...
He just shrugged the whole thing off. He took each hit.
If I see a match where the Fiend just eats, I don't know, a spear and gets pinned, I'll be like, bull fucking shit.
Yeah, that sort of thing just makes it go like, all right, you have to adhere to your own rules, like the rules of a match stipulation, like Hell in a Cell, which is another thing that like I can't stand. I almost pulled my hair out after watching it.
I tried to, but nature beat me to it.
God damn it. If you set up a match like Hell in a Cell, and on Hell in a Cell, the match type Hell in a Cell has no disqualifications, no countouts, it has to end in pinfall or submission, all weapons are legal, and you throw the match out because you're uncomfortable with the way things are going, fuck you. Now, that is absolute bullshit.
Okay, I will say, there is one, like, pretty glaring discrepancy in AEW that we have to talk about, and it's those refs are fucking lenient.
Okay, hold up. There's an actual joke about this. So, Knox, the referee for the first main event on episode 1, where Jon Moxley came out from the crowd, took Kenny Omega, beat the crap out of him, carried him back, and like pile drive him through the glass table.
And the match is still going.
And the match is still going. Okay, so on Being the Elite, which if you don't watch, take 20 minutes out of your day and watch some Being the Elite, because they do some behind the scenes skit stuff that's just like really funny. No, this is literally on episode 1 of Dynamite. This happened on episode 1. Kenny comes up to Knox and he says, "Dude, what the heck? You should have disqualified Jericho and..." Or who was it they were facing? I don't remember who they were facing. I think it was like Jericho was one of them. Or it was a triple threat match. Dang it, I wish I could remember. I wish I had the card in front of me. But, like, you should have disqualified the other team because I got attacked. And he's like, Knox goes, "Man, but everybody's like," he's like, "Why didn't you?" He's like, "Everybody's ragging on me for, like, being too strict and being too uptight." And, like, no one wants to see the main event end in a disqualification. Which literally carries over to WWE. But also later on in Being the Elite, he goes to sit with a bunch of wrestlers and eat a hot dog, and they block him away from that, and they're all like, "God, that guy's too strict." And he's like, "I guess I need to lighten up." And it's like the fucking funniest thing, to me at least. Because they set up this fucking backstory behind the scenes, so people have to go watch it. And I mean, like, this is one of those things that, like, it's kind of like a multi-thing that you have to watch some other stuff to sort of get in jokes. But, like, I appreciated it for explaining it. It's the one screwy finish that, like, I looked at and went, "Huh, that's weird. Why is the match still going?" I mean, I'm still enjoying the match because it's great, but why is the match still going?
But, I mean, they do have an explanation because they go, "Ref discretion."
Oh, it was Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz. That's what it was.
But they use the phrase "ref discretion" a lot. Discretion.
Yeah, and
because
I mean,
there's some stuff that was happening that I was going like, "What?" Okay, so first one was Moxley attacking Kenny. The second one was title match. Nyla Rose brings out a chair, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, I mean, like, the ref stops her.
But I mean, okay, I'm not talking about the ref. I'm talking about Nyla, where she has the chair, and she didn't pull a Sasha Banks, where she uses the first chair to distract from the second chair. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
brilliant, right? She doesn't do that.
Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. She gets the chair, and she's obviously gonna hit Riho, and the refs will stop, and I'm like, wait, don't you want the title?
So like that match is a great, what's the word, character or phrase, is character study. It's a great character study on the character of Nyla Rose and the direction it's heading. She's so frustrated that like her brain superseded wanting the title to just being plain frustrated that she couldn't put Riho away, so why not just beat the crap out of her?
I mean, I get that story. Not in a title match. It just, plus the commentary didn't go to that part, so I'm just yelling at my my phone in between commercial breaks. Like, why?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's like something I was even staring at and going like, what the fuck? Why? No, stop. This is stupid. This is actually dumb. And yeah, there are moments where I've been like, oh, this is dumb. But like most of the times that I've been like, this is dumb, it's been in appropriate context. Pac getting the win over Hangman Page for the low blow, I was like, dude, this sucks. It makes sense because Pac's a dirty fucking cheater.
He's a dirty, and he properly blocked his body.
Yeah, he properly blocked the fact that he was giving a low blow to Hangman Page. And like the same thing sort of happens week 2 with MJF beating Brandon Cutler.
Oh yeah, he just goes for the eyes.
Yeah, he goes for the eyes. He gets like a low blow as well, I think. But like,
oh my god, I
don't think there were any screwy finishes this week though.
Brandon Cutler was when I really noticed the commentary, because in a few 3 sentences I went, wow, I really want to cheer for Brandon Cutler.
Yeah.
He was wrestling, then he went to start a family, and now he wants to come back and wrestle. Aw, he's a wrestling dad.
Yeah. Like, they literally built his character up more than like WWE ever could in a year.
Right, and
just like 30 seconds.
Let's be frank. I'm looking at Brandon Cutler. Like, this guy's enhancement talent, but it's okay.
But like, I don't see, like, personally right now, I see anyone in AEW as being not enhancement talent. Like, they currently don't have a mid-card title. They're probably going to get one in like half a year to a year, right? But they don't have a super large roster that it matters to have one just yet. But I think they'll have like a TV title or something. Who knows? But I do think that Brandon Cutler isn't just a mid-card person with the proper storyline, with the proper wins and losses handed to him. He could be a main event player. Anyone on that roster could be a main event player.
Oh, totally.
It just depends on how they're booked, or if they want to be. Some people don't want that kind of spotlight. They prefer getting to do like the outrageous things, like skateboarding down a ramp and jumping off and clotheslining the champion of the promotion.
That was so good.
He came out this week, by the way, and rode his skateboard down the ramp. If he doesn't do that every fucking week from now on, I am going to be sad. When he wrestles, that's the way he should enter. Is just riding that skateboard down the ramp.
Oh, I want him to see him.
It's such a fucking cool visual.
I want to see. Now we got to see Darby Allin as Tony Hawk DLC. And then his signature trick is the coffin drop. Book it.
It's. Wait, what's up, Jeremy?
Oh no, Jeremy has an idea. Oh man, this is probably
There's still Tony Hawk games.
There's still Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, the last one was garbage, but I mean, hey man, they're trying.
I want there to be more non-wrestling games, like you know how WWE was making that Power Stone game that got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Or WWE, the Twisted Metal WWE game. Oh, hey, Monkey
Not that one.
Punch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But
Okay.
no, side note. If you could have a wrestling themed non-wrestling game, what would it be? What genre would it be? Because I got mine.
I want an RPG.
Oh, that's good. Would you make?
I want a long, like 30 to 40 hour RPG. I mean, like that's long for me, but like without side quests, like 40-hour story with like another 20 to 40 hours worth of side quests.
Would
RPG.
the main character be an original character? Because I think it would be better if it's an original character.
Yeah, no, I would say an original character, and then kind of like the Chrono Cross or Radiant Historia gimmick, where you can recruit a bunch of characters, but you can only recruit certain characters in certain playthroughs because of like you have to be like a good guy or a bad guy, like a little bit of morality system in there.
All right.
To play on like that kind of stuff, but no, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Nah, I got you. You ready for this, Ian? I'm gonna blow your idea away. Same
All right.
idea. Persona 6, but all the personas are wrestlers.
I would love that. I would love that.
Kane uses Augie.
I don't think anyone else would enjoy that.
Except
I would enjoy the fuck out of that.
You're quick. We have to negotiate with Finn.
Sid Meier's Wrestleization.
Sid Meier's. Okay, are you ready?
Oh my god, that is genius.
Are you ready for my?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. WWE rhythm game. Remember Busta Groove?
Yes.
It would play like Busta Groove.
Why?
Because do you know how many wrestling themes that slap?
Well, yeah, but like, I guess.
I mean, okay. So who would be in the wrestling game? The rhythm game. Obviously, R-Truth and Big E.
I mean, R-Truth, Big E, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. You can't have one of the New Day.
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil.
Shane McMahon.
Fandango. Tyler Breeze by association. Who else has been caught? Mark Henry.
Adam Rose.
No, they wouldn't do Adam Rose because he's no longer with the promotion. I don't even think he wrestles anymore.
Oh, okay. So you would pick current. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd keep current or alum status.
Carmella.
Carmella, yes, that was one I was forgetting.
Carmella. A wrestling sandbox game. Get yourself to school backyard. Well, no. To see, Jeremy, your game has wrestling in it. This would be This is a wrestling themed non-wrestling game.
Yeah, like I'm talking like an RPG where all of the wrestlers are sucked into a fantasy world. All of that anime that just dropped, that is literally a wrestler gets dropped into a fantasy world. And the first thing he does is suplex the princess.
But I do like Sid Meier's Wrestleization.
I really do enjoy Sid Meier's Wrestleization.
Does Gandhi like F5 you?
An arena fighter? That would be pretty
Okay,
cool.
so like Power Stone, yeah, that they were making that. That's the thing. That game looks so good.
It did, and then they didn't do it. NXT crossover with insane.
Can I get a WWE MOBA? I would want a WWE MOBA just so I can hear the conversations. Oh yeah, dude, I take Finn Balor mid lane.
Okay, alright, but like when you do it, every time you like get a kill, if it's like, well, I mean, like at least with Tommaso Ciampa, this makes sense. With Tommaso Ciampa, one of his like abilities, which is a passive and just like not even listed as an ability, is every time he kills somebody, instead of like you hear kill, instead it says no one will survive.
Burn it.
Like it just plays that.
See, this is the shit I want out of video games, man. Especially RPG mechanics, because like The Rock. Just see The Rock's passive ability is that he does like I don't know.
You can hear, oh my god, he cut him in half. Oh, dude. Oh man, that's so funny.
Jeremy writes, "Are you kidding? If you do a heavy hit, you can hear, oh my god, he cut him in half for."
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, I didn't read that well enough.
No, but like I said with The Rock, like his passive would probably be he does 5% bonus electrical damage or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's perfect because he's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
But this is the stuff. This is why you don't get anime fans to be wrestling fans, because it's all about taking something that's not wrestling and turning it into wrestling. That's my favorite thing to do with wrestling.
No. This is the reason why you do get anime fans to be wrestling fans. Like, this is the exact reason. Like, I could just sit here and rattle off like a bunch of ideas. Like, anime and wrestling are as married to each other as like anime and video games.
Oh, totally. Oh my god! You know what the easiest layup?
It has an AOE where you hit your hit percentage against him drops 2% due to pure charisma and slowly makes you a fan.
Yo, you know what's an easy layup for a wrestling game crossover? Battle Royale games.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah,
literally. Just
like, yeah, it's just literally a battle royale with a giant ring, and you just like beat each other up with wrestling moves instead of with guns. Fund it. Fund that shit right now.
Man,
I want my Fortnite WWE or like TNA or I don't care what promotion. I want my Fortnite crossover right now. But instead of guns, they have to German suplex each other and they have to like do special moves in order to get.
Oh my god! So instead of picking up a pistol, it's like you picked up a leg drop.
Yeah, you pick up moves instead. So you can, but you have like regular striking moves. So when you like push the 1, 2, 3 MOBA style, you use that move instead. So if you knock somebody down, you can like press 1 to do a leg drop or some crap like that. Oh, dude, it'd be great.
Wait, do you know about Brawlhalla?
I do indeed know about.
So you know about the Brawlhalla crossover, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Work would not let me not know about that.
That's the shit we need, man. That is the shit we need.
It'd be so great.
This is JRPG. I think JRPG would be the funniest one.
I really think like a JRPG like would just be out there, different, hilarious, absolutely amazing to just like do. And I think it should be done.
Dude, you weren't there when I was in college. We talked about Persona 4, but with WWE, and playing the role of Navigator was Jim Ross. By God, he's weak to Zeo skills. And then you do the all-out attack. It's a slobber knocker. I'm just sorry.
So
we just totally flew off the rails. I'm sorry, Chad. I know we're supposed to be talking about AEW.
We'll get back to it in 1 second. There's one other thing I do want to mention. WWE Fate crossover game in like Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero.
Oh my god! Why limit it to WWE? Just make it freaking just all of wrestling, dude.
Well, yeah, I know, but like, what are the promotions? Because like you can't do. I mean, like I wish you could do all the promotions because that means all the promotions have to get along, but that's probably never going to happen. But yeah, no, like a wrestling Fate game would be hilarious.
Well, just a wrestling. I mean, well, we do have there are other games are gotcha, but I do like the idea of a wrestling gotcha game ever since I saw Ricochet's entrance, which looks like a gotcha summon.
It does. It really fucking does.
I'm sorry for everyone in the chat. I just ruined it for you because like you just see it like the little summon circle. It's like you got 4-star Ricochet because Ricochet would be a 4-star. He would be. AJ Styles is probably a 5.
I think Ricochet's a 4-star now, but I think soon, under the right circumstances, he'll be a 5.
He better be. All right, let's get back to AEW. See, this Darby Allin, that's what made us go into this tangent of tangents, was Darby Allin.
Because he's amazing. Okay, hold up. Full disclosure, I am completely biased against Darby Allin. If you ask me right
Not
now, what
biased toward, not biased
yeah,
again.
biased towards. I'm biased towards Darby Allin. I love him. I think he is one of the greatest things happening in wrestling currently. You want proof as to the reason why I believe that? Watch the Road to Fighter Fest episode 2. His promo at the end of it is one of the realest things ever, and I tell the rest of the CWF constantly, it is a promo, it is a vignette that keeps me up at night. I would love to be able to replicate something like that. I got really close at Mag West, and I could probably get close again. I don't think I'll ever be able to like replicate that exact same feeling, but I love him. Like, he's so different. He has a completely different attitude. He's got this just like, I will die. He's like Joey Janela, but will actually die in the ring. And he's just really good at playing himself, because he's not playing a character, he's playing himself. And it shows. His matches are fantastic. The match with Cody at Fyter Fest is a darling of a match that ends in one of the best ways possible to get somebody new over. His match with Jericho is really good. Again, great match to get somebody new over. And I think that this is where I disagree with Jeremy. I think to at least most of the extent that they're doing a great job getting people over, even if they lose.
Well, that's because I think a big part of it is AEW's crowd is so generous. They have not had time or reason to get jaded.
I would say generous is a good word for it, but I would also say receptive. Because it's a new promotion, they're very receptive to the ideas that this promotion is laying out. And to be honest, I'm glad that week 1 and week 2 ended with big fat brawls. At first, I didn't like the brawl in week 1 because I didn't want heels standing tall at the end of episode 1. But when the faces got back at them in episode 2, and we had like the thing with the small payoffs of story breadcrumbs being sprinkled around the entire ring for many different wrestlers, it really brought something for me as a fan to enjoy all of it. If you have 2 hours, if you have TNT, some form of cable, some way to watch AEW Dynamite,
You should.
I highly recommend
or
it.
at least watch some AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark. For free.
Right, for free on YouTube. Premieres every Tuesday. You can watch it for free. And those are all of the dark matches. And the dark matches wins and losses matter too, which is awesome. I think it was episode 1 they had this, it was either episode 1 or episode 2. Again, I can't remember both cards very vividly. That's just because of how stacked everything's been for me outside of the world of wrestling. But Orange Cassidy came out with the Best Friends. By the way, G will tell you that my look for CM Puff at MagWest was Orange Cassidy inspired.
Or at least, I wouldn't say inspired because you weren't thinking of him, so I'll say evocative of.
Yeah, like at first you asked if it was inspired. It is very much evocative of, because I honestly didn't know that that's what I was going for, look-wise. And the look is going to consistently change, by the way. Not all the time, but like there's going to be some times where I have different outfits because I want to have different outfits for this wrestler, this character in CWF. But Cassidy is such a great character that there was a kid at 2 separate shows. The first one,
oh, I know
and
this
the most
one.
recent one, dressed exactly like him. There was a kid cosplaying Orange Cassidy in the front row for 2 nights straight, and he walked to that kid and he fist bumped him. No one in WWE would really do that. they shake your hands after matches, or at least they used to. They kind of don't now, which kind of sucks. But like AEW like offers this opportunity to sort of bring that feeling back. I think it's one of the things that like I really really enjoy is that they're just fun-loving guys who love wrestling, and it shows.
Hey, don't forget Bret Hart would give you his sunglasses back in the day.
Yeah, Bret Hart would give you his sunglasses back in the day. I stood 5 feet away from CM Punk at the Raw. He won the tag team champions with Kofi Kingston. And he walked right by me, and I have a photograph. It's a very poorly lit photograph, but I still have it.
But it's yours.
It's mine. And it's my favorite photo of the night. Because I was there when he won the tag titles with Kofi. And I just, like, it was something that sort of, like, I had forgotten about. But then years later, I was, like, roaming through pictures that I have, because I have some, like, actual non-digital pictures. And I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, I own this. Oh my god, this was the night he won the tag championship.
You know, there's something really worth talking about with Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, and it's something that it doesn't go, that it's not praised a lot. Okay, so I really believe that Shinsuke Nakamura is one of the most cosplayed WWE wrestlers.
Yeah.
And do you know why?
Because he's evocative.
He has a distinct look.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually a wrestler's look will get distinct. I mean, that's how you get all the John Cena cosplayers. But Nakamura, right. I bring this up because there's a lot of characters in AEW with a very, very, very distinct look. Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Jericho, Young Bucks, Private Party.
Private Party, Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara, John Moxley, MJF and his scarf.
MJF. Riho has a very distinct look. Because she's literally, her outfit is different than every other woman on the roster. She dresses like she's in a Maho Shoujo wrestling anime.
Oh, I agree.
And I love it. Like, I love the outfit. I think it's cute as heck.
It reminds me of a Tiger Mask character.
Yeah.
In fact, wait a minute. Hold it. I think the Tiger Mask reboot. I'm gonna look that up, but I mean, we all got burned out of relatively well-built dude, black trunks, buzz cut, Randy Orton look. So to see these flashier than normal wrestling looks are amazing. And gimmicks. I missed you.
I love gimmicks. Like, the best friends are literally just two best friends.
Yeah, Private Party, Lucha Bros, Chris Jericho has a gimmick.
Darby Allin has a gimmick, technically. Jimmy Havoc is a fucking serial killer. Tell me I'm wrong. He's still playing who he was in Progress, and it's terrifying. There's like a promo of him in Progress where he's literally dissecting a dude on a table.
I like how
it was him talking to like Will Ospreay, and he's all like, "If this is what I do to the people I hate, what do you think I'm going to do to you?"
Man, Jimmy Havoc, and I hate to say this, but he basically looks like if you threw Darby Allin in a time machine and sent him 30 years into the future.
Darby Allin is sort of like what Jimmy Havoc is without the, I would say, like the blood and guts of a Jimmy Havoc match, at least from what I've seen. Now, I could be wrong, right? Darby Allin could have that hardcore, like, stuff underneath his belt that Jimmy does. Jimmy's been around in the business for a long while, but you don't get known as the king of death matches for nothing. And that's what he's known as. At least it's what he was known as when he was in Progress.
There it is, yeah, see, Spring Tiger. Yeah, dude, her outfit totally makes me think of Riho. I'm gonna look it to you, Ian. Right there in the chat.
Oh my god, I love it. I love that so much.
You're
It's so
welcome.
freaking cute.
You're welcome.
But like, okay, so Jimmy has the potential to, again, as a character, be somebody who is not enhancement talent, which he sort of has been used as enhancement talent. Also, Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc rubber match when? Because they both have a win over each other. But there's these like AEW has characters on top of people who are wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
SCU are just a bunch of dudes in Southern California who are not afraid to let you know that they're literally in the worst town they've ever been in.
Washington.
And they can't wait to get home back to Southern California.
Because that's where it's at.
Yes.
But anyway, people, despite my difficulties trying to get to watch AEW, my time watching it was well spent. And I will probably continue to watch AEW if I got the time. And that's saying a lot coming from someone who regularly watches WWE.
I'd say if you have 2 hours of your time to devote into it, keep up with it.
Yeah, to keep up with it. And even better was like, what, are you going to give up watching NXT? No! That's the beauty of the internet! I get both! Yeah. Holy cow!
I mean, I haven't watched NXT in a few weeks, not because it's more along the lines because I haven't had time, but I'm ready to, like, sit down, download a few episodes to my phone, and then just, like, hop on a plane because I'm going to have a couple hours so I can watch, like, the last 4 weeks. I'm going to be on 2 nearly 3-hour flights. I can just watch them on the plane.
Yeah. I think that's, like, if anybody's going to have a lesson after this podcast, it's... I think ultimate loyalty to a product is way overrated.
Picking a side is stupid. The companies don't, like...
Yeah, companies aren't your friends.
They're not your friend. They care that you're watching, but they don't care... Like, they care when you watch, but that shouldn't matter to you. When you have the time to watch is when you should watch it.
Yeah, because ultimately, I like good wrestling. And I see good wrestling in NXT, and I see good wrestling in AEW. And I don't need to devote myself, like, I don't need to throw up the I'm with AEW hashtag and be like, look at me, I hope WWE crashes and burns, like a lot of people say. I don't think that's healthy.
I don't think it's healthy either. I'd never want there to not be another, at least as long as I live, I don't want there to be an instance where there are not 2 wrestling companies on television. Ever again. And I know some people could say, well, there's Impact, and I could say, well, they've been off television for like a year and a half, and they're just getting back on it. And they have some kinks in their business department to work out. Now, mind you, there are some people on Impact that I very much enjoy, and I don't know when their contracts are up with Impact, but if they're not going to be at Impact after that, there's a couple of people I'd like to see move to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to get that for a while.
And for me, it's like, you know, I have a strong fondness for the black and gold, and I will watch it as long as it entertains me. And right now they got Keith Lee, and that man is entertaining as hell.
Keith Lee is fucking really good. Not even just as a wrestler, he does good promos. He's just overall funny, and he does things that big people shouldn't be able to do.
And I know that phrase,
Luchasaurus.
You know, I know that phrase gets used a lot in wrestling, but Keith Lee, when he did a freaking jumping, spinning reverse roundhouse kick,
he did a fucking tope suicida moonsault off. I was just staring at the screen. I was like, I only know like 2 other people that can move like that. Neither of them are wrestlers.
Anyway, I think that's going to conclude the episode tonight, man. Thank you for joining me, Ian.
You got a question for everybody for 2 weeks?
Got it. Easy one. All right, let's say you were visited by the wrestling genie, and you could make a dream singles match between any two wrestlers, any two incarnations.
Oh, so I get to pick if they're at the height of their prime. Okay, this is.
Or you could say like, hey, I want, I don't know, I want WCW era Chris Jericho
Yeah.
or blah 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 to wrestle each other. Who would it be? Actually, no. I will remove.
I'm gonna wait.
I will remove the single stick. Just any dream match.
Any dream match. All
Any
right,
dream
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until next week to put my answer in the chat. I don't want to answer that right now. I also want time to think about it.
But wait, I will say good. This was a warm up one. I asked this question before my Facebook years ago, and this is one of my favorite answers. It was Dustin Rhodes with Dusty Rhodes versus Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton.
That would be awesome.
That would be, and obviously, Dusty and Cowboy would be in their prime.
Yeah.
Ah.
So before we go, I just want to thank you for having me on again. I love being on this, and I love talking wrestling. I also want to thank everybody for listening, because I didn't do that last time I was on here, and I want to say that now. So everybody who listened and was here, thank you for being here. Yeah.
And this was the most highly concentrated wrestling discussion. Won't be our last. And thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.